Welcome to Franchise Marketing Radio, brought to you by SEO SAMBA. Comprehensive high-performing marketing solutions for mature and emerging franchise brands. To supercharge your franchise marketing, go to SEOSamba.com. That's SEOSAMBA.com.
Welcome to Franchise Marketing Radio. Stone Payton Lee Cantor here with you today. Today's episode is brought to you in part by the Business RadioX Studio Partner Program, equipping franchisors to help franchisees dominate their local market. To learn more about serving your market and growing your business, go to mybrxstudio.com. Lee, this is going to be a fantastic segment. Please join me in welcoming to the broadcast President and COO of AlphaGraphics, Mr. Ryan Farris. How are you, Ryan?
I'm doing great today. Thanks for having me on the show.
Well, Ryan, before we get into things, can you share a little bit about AlphaGraphics, how long you've been around, and some of the services you provide?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, AlphaGraphics is actually celebrating this year our 50th anniversary. So it's been around for quite a long time, and has made a lot of changes to address the needs of our customer base. And what we do is provide customers and businesses, notably small to mid-sized businesses, print and marketing services, whether that's communications or graphics. It could be as simple as a brochure or business card, or it could be as complex as the window, wall, and floor graphics to get a restaurant up and running, to their direct mail needs, or any of the digital needs, website, email, and et cetera. So, and I've been with the company, fortunate to have been with the brand since 2015, and looking forward to continuing on for a number of great years, as it's been a lot of fun working with this fantastic brand.
So your franchisees in local markets, how do they kind of go to market? Like, what niche do they serve in the business community?
Yeah, so obviously each one of our AlphaGraphics is locally owned and operated, and as they work in their local markets, they're servicing a lot of those other locally owned and operated businesses, even some of the headquarter businesses that might be within their territory. And so it could be the ice cream shop next door, helping them with their menus, their boards, their direct mail to let customers know they're there and what their offering is. Or it could be the headquarters office down the street that needs to communicate across the country. And so we kind of provide that mix of print and marketing services, and our breadth of offering is quite wide, as you can imagine. So a lot of people think of it as printing, which it certainly is. But like in these times right now, we're doing things like floor graphics, face shields, counter displays, directional wayfinding signage to help people know where to go to sign in and do ABC, XYZ. So yeah, they provide quite that mix for those businesses in their local markets.
Now, what does the profile of a ideal franchisee look like?
Wow, you know, our owners are quite diverse individuals. You know, obviously, our ideal candidate and those that we've seen in the brand for this 50-year period have a lot of entrepreneurial spirit. You know, they want to make a business for themselves. A lot of them have had some great corporate careers, and are at a point in their life where they've amassed some wealth. But more importantly, they're looking to have a better balance between income, right? Obviously still provide for their family, but start building some wealth. You know, working for themselves can do something like that, but also have the right balance for lifestyle and be able to have the right work-life balance. I see quite a few candidates come to us that may be a little bit burned out of being on the road and putting too many miles on a plane, and they want to start, you know, putting some more miles in their community. And that makes a really good fit for us as an owner, as an individual that has the desire to be in business for themselves with the right guardrails that a franchise brand can provide, but also likes to see physically work that they're producing. And that's what an AlphaGraphics can do is take that desire to be an entrepreneur with the guardrails and then give them something through printed marketing communications that helps actually another business grow. I mean, what they do at the end of the day is help that local business better brand themselves, communicate to their customers, and find their own success. And that gives our owners a lot of pride. And so our ideal candidates kind of fit that profile of someone that is ready to invest in their community, take ownership and take the reins of a business, but more importantly, also help other businesses be successful at what they're doing.
Now, do they have to come from like a marketing printing background in order to be successful, or can they, like, what is their kind of skill set coming in?
You know, that's a great question. And while it's certainly fantastic, you know, if someone's coming out of the printing industry or the marketing design industry, even advertising, but that's actually quite rare. I would say less than, 15% or even in some cases 10% of our candidates have any such background. It's not necessary. And I think that's what makes an AlphaGraphics franchise successful, is that we have that model, right? We have the ability to teach you those skills and give you the right tools to learn the print and marketing business. So really the key component there is not having the experience necessarily, but the desire to be in that business and to learn, right? We tell all of our candidates through the process that, the biggest driver of success is willingness to learn something new, do new things, and adapt and change, as this business is one that does that a lot. What it looked like 50 years ago is nothing of what we look like today. And so people that really thrive on innovation, providing unique ways of doing things, finding new ways to kind of cut through the clutter and noise of marketing, do really well in this. And they don't have to have any previous experience to have success doing so.
Now, do you prefer the franchisees be owner-operators, or is this something they can run as absentee and just hire the right folk?
That's another great question, and there are brands that you can be more of an investor and manage multiple units. And AlphaGraphics is not that brand. We are very much an owner-operator model. We have found through lessons learned of 50 years that the most successful centers and owners are those that are in the business, that are helping, side by side. Obviously, over time and through experience, they find the right lifestyle balance, of course, but it's not an investor model. And so we do require that our owners learn the business, help kick off that business, be involved in the day-to-day decisions, and they certainly can continue to expand through multi-unit, but we still want that initial location to be an owner-operator model.
Now, what does kind of a day in the life of a franchisee look like?
Oh, yeah. So this is a little bit guided by the owners, but a typical day, an owner's going to have a business hours Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, and they're going to come in the morning and generally hold what we call a WIP meeting. What is our work in process, and get with the key team members and go through the work that came in yesterday and needs to get out that day, kind of lay out the schedule for the team, and then kind of set everybody off on their marching orders to get them going. That owner may be helping produce some of those jobs in the day, but that's only going to be a portion of their time. They're going to also spend some time with some of our key tools and systems, understanding the leads that are coming in for the day, prioritizing those leads, and following up, taking those requests and getting those estimates out, getting some invoices out, and then hopefully getting out of the building and talking with a few customers and prospects. And then obviously through the end of the day, even doing a few deliveries is a great opportunity to shake hands with customers, thank them for the work that they've given you for the day, and ask them for the next job. So, our typical owners will spend about half the day, working with their team and in the shop and making sure things are going well. And about half the day, prospecting, talking with customers or potential customers, and just making sure all the bills and invoices get sent out from the day.
Now, when you're working with your owner-operators, do they typically have a comfort level of going out and immersing themselves in the community, or is that something that corporate kind of teaches them how to get the most out of that?
Yes, yes on both sides. So our owners, especially new into the business, I can find a lot of our candidates did very well in a particular industry or business, but may not have been a sales background at all. Okay, may not even have initially had any comfort doing calls or conversation or meetings that are even sales oriented whatsoever. And so our training program focuses quite a bit on understanding how, as an owner, it's not technically a sales call in the traditional sense, but it is that community involvement. And so we focus a lot on, how to engage with your chamber of commerce, how to work with your local nonprofits, how to engage your community just as a business owner, as a community leader, and work with those individuals at the same level, working owner to owner, entrepreneur to entrepreneur in some cases, and small business to small business to say, I'm here to support your needs, and here's what I'm capable of, and maybe vice versa. How can you help my business as well? And so we spend a lot of time in the training helping these new owners get more comfortable with those types of opportunities and engagements, which is a little bit more of a soft sell process, but it's super instrumental. We did a customer survey about 18 months ago with our current customers that stopped doing business for one reason or another, as well as people that have never done business with AlphaGraphics. And we found the number one reason that a customer stopped doing business with us was they just moved out of range or out of distance. And so we've noted it's very important to be a brick and mortar business, to have that local presence, because that seems to be a very key driver to why they want to do business with an AlphaGraphics. And then obviously the quality of product, service, and expectations come into play. But we are very instrumental in our communities, and a lot of our owners drive a lot of the referrals in business just by being engaged in their local communities.
When you're working with the franchisee and you're helping them kind of with this consultative selling and not selling, but just being available and teaching them that, what are some of the, I don't want to say maybe mistakes that a new person makes when they're making that transition from maybe they were a leader in their kind of day job prior to this, in their first life, corporate life, and then now this, they got to be a thought leader, they got to be an expert, but maybe it's kind of a little bit out of what they're used to doing. Any tips on how to make that transition smoother?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think for anybody going from no experience in running a business day to day, especially a small one, right, where maybe it's 2 to 4 people, maybe even 5 or 8 people, but a very small team is a big transition. We kind of explain to candidates that go through the process that, hey, you might find yourself, getting out the broom and cleaning up the floor, restocking the toilet paper and paper towels. This kind of comes with being a small business owner, and those are key decisions you're making because now it's your money on the line, and it's a representation of you and your business. And so you're going to find yourself in some new situations. Obviously, helping them get through and understand the value of how to engage people. It's more what we found is if we talk about it as a sales call, it really does. It's amazing. Even people that are well seasoned, it is amazing the tremors you can see in their hands when they envision a cold call. And so we tend to steer away from that type of language initially and focus on relationship building. Just by the vernacular change of talking about it as building relationships, letting the community know that you're there to service them is a much easier approach and takes a lot of those trimmers out of these candidates and owners, and gives them a sense of comfort that what you're basically doing is just talking about yourself. Okay, so what people are very good at doing is talking about yourself. And so what we coach them on, and we actually do rehearsals of this, is how do you explain what you do for a living, right? Now that you're an AlphaGraphics owner, give me your elevator pitch. And going through that exercise is pretty impressive. And we actually do it in a group. So we'll have anywhere from 5 to 10 new owners in the room at a time. And as they hear each other doing it, they pick up little tips and tricks. And they understand, oh, that sounds like me. That's how I want to project myself. And that begins to give them comfort. And so that kind of exercise, if you will, of almost doing it to the mirror, but actually with some of your peers that are in the same situation, helps build their confidence and gives them the ability to very easily, if you will, the next time they run into their next door neighbor, the next time they run into the business owner, or hopefully proactively, stand in front of their chamber of commerce and have to say very simply, what do you do? That becomes an easy way that they've now rehearsed to convey, I'm a local business owner and I've invested my life savings in this business because I like to help other businesses be successful. And if any of you need help with your sales and marketing, I'm willing to put my livelihood on the line to help you with yours. And that simple talk track helps them connect and build those relationships and makes it very impactful because now it's coming from them, from their heart, and you can feel what it's like to be an owner, and people like that connection. And from there, it just builds. And then we go through another series of exercises, which is once they say, tell me more, or, hey, I would like to learn more about your services, how do you then answer that? And so those tactics of group kind of sessions going from the 30-second initial conversation to the 5-minute, how do I talk about their needs and assess their needs, becomes really effective for these owners. And so if you will, our first component is how do you talk about yourself and what you do? And then the easiest thing, like we just said, is then ask them what they do. And they love to talk about themselves as well. And you'll get those answers. And so it becomes a really easier conversation that helps these folks transition into that kind of sales mode, if you will, and helps them communicate and convey how to do their business better.
If you're just now joining us, you're listening to Franchise Marketing Radio. Our guest today is President and COO of AlphaGraphics, Mr. Ryan Farris. Ryan, Stone Payton here. When it comes to marketing the opportunity out to potential franchisees, are you finding any vehicles more effective than others, whether it's email, direct mail, pay-per-click, social, or some things working better in that regard than others for you guys?
Yes. We certainly find that our social channels work very well, and different forms of advertising through those more digital-based avenues work very well in reaching an audience. And I think it's twofold. One is, if you're finally hitting that point in your life where, you're tired of the grind or you're tired of doing all that work to earn someone else their money and build their wealth, you're likely chewing on that information in the evening, after you've come home from a long, hard day or finally gotten off of a 5-day road trip. And so, there's not a phone number you're going to call at 9, 10, midnight because you can't sleep. So you pop online. And so we find that that's the first place we get our initial engagements. And we've actually set up some automatic chat to engage people at all hours at night, videos, so they can hear from other people like themselves, why they considered, going the franchise route and joining a brand like AlphaGraphics. And that's really been, highly successful because at the end of the day, it's letting people find you when they're looking for you through the channels that they're using. And the reason social hits both fronts for us is, one, they can find it, right? If they're running through their Facebook feed or LinkedIn and they see that particular, opportunity to be an owner. But the second part is once they click into it, they can engage digitally through video and audio, to understand how it might connect with them. And so that's been a really great opportunity for us. And obviously complements our traditional channels of, direct mail and email just as well. But social is certainly a great avenue for us.
Now, Ryan, how are you counseling your owners in the local markets to help their clients weather this coronavirus crisis we're having nationwide?
Yeah, I mean, this is an unprecedented event. We do quite a bit of videos to support our owners and everything from morale boosting to what you should be doing now to what loans and options are available for you. And I would say it's equally important for our customers right now. What we've been focused on as an AlphaGraphics brand with our owners is just being there for our customers that are being impacted the same way we are. Most of our owners, I think we've got now 26 states, 70 counties, and another, 114 cities that have gone to a shelter-in-place mode of operation. And we're all in the same boat. And so we've kind of taken the approach of, here's 5 things you can do to better communicate with your team and your company during the COVID crisis. So we produced an ebook to distribute to all of our customers. We've done some FAQs. What are you looking at? And what are your options? How do you want to address and manage getting through the crisis? And then obviously we've been able to very recently shift some of our efforts to support our community, producing face shields with our equipment, producing counter protective shields. So the cashier has a little bit of a shield, if you will, from guests and customers coming in. Floor stickers, that say stand here to remain 6 feet away from the other patrons in the venue. Wayfinding signage so you know where to go sign in. All of these things are community-based that are still helping those essential businesses stay in operation. Working with our owners are working with the restaurants to produce new signage for them that says we're still open and we do takeout and delivery. Even helping them with the takeout boxes and laminated menus and to-go menus, so that the businesses that need to continue servicing our community have the marketing and communication tools that they need to do so. And I will say that that's been probably the little bit of silver lining in this crisis is seeing these owners rally, even with their own pocketbooks being impacted, to step up and help their communities, help these other businesses find ways to survive and thrive potentially through this crisis, help our healthcare workers and our law enforcement get the tools they need to stay safe and continue protecting and servicing the communities. That's been quite heartwarming. You just can't imagine what that means for a brand to see 250 locations, find ways to continue to give back. So that's been how we've been working with our communities, and not just helping them, but that helps us get through the crisis, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think that I agree with you. This isn't a time to kind of stay in a bunker and then pop your head out in 90 days when it's over, like we're ready to restart. Like, you got to be serving through the whole process as best you can. And I think a lot of communities, and it sounds like you've chosen wisely in terms of your owners in local markets, that they have the heart of service and they want to really stay connected to their community and help in whatever way they can.
Yeah, we've, I saw an owner, actually here in Denver, our AlphaGraphics that has 4 locations. They took some of their excess chloroplast, which is the materials you see for yard signs, and started producing signs for neighbors. Just saying, we're staying in to protect our community, or we're staying in to protect our grandmother. About 50 versions of this sign now have been generated by the communities, and you're starting to see them in the front yards, and even some of them with the little the bear produced on it to help with the kids' little scavenger hunts. It's things like this that these owners are doing that still allows their printing to have some opportunity for business, but more importantly, you start to see it in the community, and it kind of shows that we're all still banding together to get through this crisis.
Yeah, and I think that we're going to get through this, and I think that companies like yours are examples of how to do it, and you're doing a great job, and congratulations on all the success.
Yeah, thank you. It's been wonderful to work with a brand like AlphaGraphics, and I appreciate you having us on your show today, and look forward to doing it again in the very near future.
Now, if somebody wanted to learn more about AlphaGraphics, whether it's find their local AlphaGraphics or find out more information about the franchise opportunity, is there a website?
Yeah, absolutely. For everybody, you can simply go to alphagraphics.com, and there is right away a map finder, so you can find the AlphaGraphics near you and contact them for any services you might need. If you're interested in learning more about potentially joining the brand as an owner, there's a link there as well that says learn about franchise opportunities. So we welcome any and all, and happy to share how we can help your company or you as a person. Or if you're interested in just learning about what franchising is like, we're happy to do that as well. So thank you.
Good stuff. That was Ryan Farris, president of AlphaGraphics. Thank you so much for being the guest today. This is Lee Cantor for Stone Payton. We will see you all next time on Franchise Marketing Radio.